April 1st, 2024, Germany goes legal.
It's a very small pigeon step in the right direction.
A major switch in its approach to cannabis.
But what exactly does that mean?
New laws for personal possession came into effect today.
How good is their bud? What about their growers? What can or can't you do? Who was this going to benefit? The patients, the growers, or the government?
So we said, okay, we have to change something because the cannabis they consume is from the illicit market.
Will the legalization here affect the rest of the world?
I feel like when the Germans design something, they design it really well. That's what Germany's kind of known for across the world. Like when it comes to anything that's engineered in Germany, everybody's like, that's the gold standard.
That's what we wanted to find out. So we went to Germany to visit the growers.
I told you, bro, you will see some nice gardens in Germany.
Talk to the tokers.
And it's really famous in Berlin and it's legendary here, yeah?
Get to know the farmers.
We still have many laws we need to follow, and it's not easy to grow hemp.
Hear out the politicians.
Give 4 million of our citizens chance to smoke weed without having 1 foot in jail.
Amen. Amen to that.
And learn from the academics.
With this legalization step, I think it's our responsibility to take part of this, to bring cannabis out of this stigmatization, out of this area, and to show the potential of cannabis, but do this on a very transparent way.
What is the current state of legalization in Germany? And will it set an example of how legalization can be done in an efficient and effective way around the world? So, before we can answer that, here's how it all went down. Got a call from Ben from the Humboldt Seed Company.
What's up, buddy? So as you know, probably heard in media, Germany just went legal and they're throwing a big party, Mary Jane 2024. I was just seeing if you wanted to come cruise over with me.
I was in from the moment I heard Germany. Not only was I dying to check out the scene since they went legal, but I knew Ben was the guy to do it with.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time. It's definitely, the wave of legalization is sweeping the world, and it's just cresting at Germany right now.
He had a sense for the scene and events.
Just the people in the stoke, everyone can have their, 3 to 6 plants.
Knew a lay of the land, and most importantly, had connections with the universities there.
Leon over there has got a big research project going on at the university,
which would be our connection to the politicians.
And I'm super curious to actually hear what's, really happening in Berlin and in Germany at the moment. What is legal?
The plan was to grab Ed Rosenthal, a few buddies from the Humboldt Seed Company's European crew, and head to the city of Berlin. Why Berlin? 2 reasons. Not only is it the most open-minded part of Germany, known for its progressive waves and alternative culture, meaning there's just been a lot more growers here traditionally. But it's also home to the biggest growers festival in the world, Mary Jane Berlin. My hopes were with this event, city, and a week's time, we'd be able to meet the growers, multi-generational farmers, politicians, and university professors.
But this should be all research-based and scientific-based, and not, based on rumors or stigmatization from the past.
Giving us a true sense of all sides.
Wow, literally just got to Berlin, guys. Look at this view. There she is, and it's time to go meet up with the crew. They're on the 2nd level at the pool or the patio or something. They're in the lounge. Thanks, boys.
Welcome to Berlin, buddy.
My German bros, dude, what is up? Dude, look, now I got a 3rd German bro now, dude.
You ready for this?
Yeah, I will call now the first grower. We are going to visit a living soil garden, completely passionate about the living soil thing.
Heck yes, bro.
Yeah, this is the famous Alexanderplatz,
Yes, exactly.
which has been in films from
everything.
in Hollywood
Look
for forever.
there.
What is this thing called?
That's the Alex. This is why the place here has the name of this tower. That's the Alex. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a cycle. We keep the cycle alive.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was happening. We were about to see our first legal grow in Germany. This was the grow of Ganja Patient, an indoor living soil grower, someone who is new to the freedom of growing, but not to growing itself.
How old were you when you started growing?
15.
15?
Yeah, now I'm 35.
As someone who's been to prison for cannabis, this was the story we had to hear.
And was in jail for that, 2017, when I got busted.
But first, we had to sesh.
Bro, if you want to experience weed on the best possible level, ball vapes are the shit. I never believed it. It's the taste of this after 25 years of smoking weed.
Yeah.
Best way.
Really?
Yeah.
Ball vape.
You can heat it up.
The buds, bro.
This is just...
Really, I go to judge cups now with a ball vape. Really, this is taste at its best.
Purple inside?
Yeah, Bro, Rudy,
This must
it has
be the
to
best
come
one.
into your documentary. This is a Berlin signature strain.
Heard legend
Bro,
about
you
the
will
Rudy
smoke
OG.
some of that. Ah, bro, this is the hash. I have this silver line from that. Is in your joint for tonight.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
This is from Morocco. The guys in Morocco that work with European machines and European techniques.
Family farms all the way from Morocco, probably Katama. I'm just going to take a wild guess. Say it's probably from the Rift Mountains in Katama. Very cool. I can't wait to open this. I'm going to let you break the seal.
No, you can.
All right, I can do it? All right. Almost like a little bit of like sprinkles. Like, you know how sprinkles smell sweet? And it's like sprinkles with muffin. So it's like kind of like a sweet chocolatey muffin. Like fresh baked. Dude.
German version, bro.
Even engraved Berlin 2024. That's epic. Oh, sick tip, bro.
Before I go sleep.
Fanta and Coke.
Yeah.
Spezi, yeah.
Yes, nice, bro. I like that.
Oh, this is Fanta and Coke mix? I've heard of these things. I've never had one.
Heck yes, bro.
Should I open the tent now? Right now?
I would love to see
Yeah,
it,
I mean,
bro.
I'm like looking at the little babies over here peeking
Ready?
out, and it's like, oh, they look
This is the
happy
next
and healthy. Yeah, dude, super clean setup.
White Russian.
From
Heck
Syria
yeah.
seeds.
So that's AK-47 and the
White Widow.
and White Widow. And then you got the bubble gum. Is that also serious?
Yes.
Sick fan, bro. Heck yes.
Best one in the
That's
game,
sick.
really.
And clean, huh? Look, he even filters the intake of the air.
Yeah.
There you see the
Water,
dedication.
For the automatic
Okay.
watering.
Oh, look at that, man.
Oh, baby!
Way.
We are fucking legal. That's what's up.
How does it feel to grow right now, 10 weeks
Free.
after legalization?
Fucking free, man. Freedom. This
So
is
will this be
freedom.
the first legal harvest?
Yeah, the first legal harvest in my lifetime.
And now you don't need to hide anymore.
No. For me, it's like surreal because I was growing 15 years in the illegal way. Now it's legal. I have to get the understanding.
Yeah, how have you been growing under the prohibition when it was illegal? Have you been hiding in the basement?
Of course, in Bavaria, I was in jail for
Yeah.
2017 for a little bit less than 6 ounces,
No
160 grams.
And how much time?
Over 11 months, nearby 1 year, yeah.
Wow.
Because in Bavaria, it's very, 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 very sketchy.
Would you say that a lot of people come to or have been coming in the last years to Berlin just to live a cannabis life and grow and cultivate and breed?
I think so, yeah. And I said I got in jail for 6 ounces in Bavaria. In Berlin, this is not possible. But it's like Germany. This is just the south and the north of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow, bro.
But two different worlds.
Yeah. 2 different worlds in cannabis, yeah. Cannabis law, definitely.
After hearing the Ganja Patient story, I was starting to understand why some growers were still reluctant to show their faces. For many, prohibition was tough.
The new legislation allows the limited legal availability of cannabis with numerous rules, regulations, and restrictions.
Uncertainty was still in the air.
Photo, when you're editing, remember, okay, don't show his face, but we can show his flowers.
Actually, while on this trip, a lot of growers I met from Bavaria didn't want to show their faces. But had no problem showing their progress.
Wow. Do you show yourself on camera or no? Okay.
We are from South Germany. Our page is Fruits High Grade.
But no face in his case.
Okay, thanks for the heads up.
No face.
And it's a Josh DOG, so an old strain crossed with a cowboy cookies.
I had no idea that a state just 6 hours away was so against growing. I mean, this was Bavaria, home of Oktoberfest and good parties. I thought they'd be down for anything, but what do I know? Later in the story, we get to meet Carmen, a politician from the state of Bavaria.
From Bavaria, in Bavaria we have the Oktoberfest, and there are a lot of people consuming a lot of alcohol, and every year we have big problems.
It's 10 a.m. in Munich, the beer gardens are open. It's a little bit early for drinking, but...
That's a can of worms for another time. Let's continue this journey and head to the next grow.
My name is Mario. 4 people living here, so we're allowed to have 12 plants, and that's why we have 12 plants. My background is scientific, so I have a bachelor's degree in biology, currently finishing my master's in molecular biology. So it's like proof of concept in a small scale. We're using rock wool like the big players, the same system, and we use ATHENA and crop steering. We do have an irrigation timer. Everything is dialed in. Used to be a studio when I was making music, and now we are kind of switched. From April we switched to cannabis, as we're going to plan to open a social club very soon in July.
This is the prototype of German legalization right now. As of 10 weeks ago, this is the outline of the law. So this is the first step in opening a social club.
Yeah, it should be good to prepare yourself, to have like a proof of concept in a small scale, what you're allowed to have, and then once you can start and you have a license, you can then scale up to the amount of members you have for the club.
Now, this was cool. Getting to visit a grower embracing the legalization and leaning into regulation with plans of opening up a social club.
Mario Gerde bringt die erste Cannabispflanze in die neuen Räumlichkeiten des White Lake Weed Clubs in Weißenburg.
How the Germans are taking this approach after 10 weeks. It's insane.
I mean, it's 2 strains. The 4 you're looking at here with the yellow ones are Mimosa Evo with Orange Punch, Battle of the Breeders. And the one in the back are from a very small company. I think they're called Humboldt. It's Granny Candy. It is Battle of the Breeders and Humboldt Seed in the back. We want to start with them and have them as a base. We already pheno hunt, so we have already some clones in the back.
You can tell White Lake weed doesn't mess around, bro. Look at this.
An M5, I think. It's a pollen filter, just to make sure that it's very unlikely to have male plants somewhere outside here, but just to also, again, filter the air again. CO2 sensor and also humidity and temperature. It feeds to our brain, which is over here. I can set temperatures, humidity and everything, monitor everything. Humidify here, and the dehumidifier has its own hygrostat, so it turns on and off on the value I set on it in the front.
Yeah, look at this little drip tray right here. Yep. That's some engineering.
Germany has been the fastest country, like seeing legalization everywhere. Like I've been around the world, I've seen legalization from everywhere, like happening in Colombia right now, Jamaica, Uruguay, Thailand, and seeing all these different countries' approaches at it. And the Germans, like, I mean, I keep saying leave it to the Germans. You guys took something that like 5 years ago was totally illegal, there was not accepted, there was a very small underground culture, and in that 5-year period, the cream rose to the top. Like you guys have just been throwing down some of like the best extracts, the best cultivation techniques, like the cleanest spaces, like, I mean, German engineering. Like, what can you say? The Mercedes of home grows. Yeah. Dude, the purple on the granny candy is just through and through. Like within the leaves, there's already like purple. All the veins are purple. The undersides of the leaves are even turning purple. Like this granny candy is on point. Super homogeneous. This is a beautiful garden. Amazing to see a little piece of California in Berlin. Like, much respect. I was not expecting this at all tonight. This just made, this made my day. This made my trip. Like being able to come here and see the plants growing. Like, I can't imagine what they're going to be like in 8 weeks.
That's actually a really good question. How did the final results look? Of course, we followed up with the growers a few weeks after leaving to see how the harvest went. Fair to say, they crushed it. What did we learn from the growers so far? One easy observation is people are definitely growing.
Dad is growing cannabis now, my mother is growing cannabis now, my sister is growing cannabis now, my auntie is growing cannabis now.
And although some are still getting used to the new freedom and don't know whether they can fully trust yet, Others are sprinting to scale up and set up bigger grows.
We are definitely prepared for our social club.
But something we have yet to clarify is what you can or can't do with the flowers and how many you can have. Cool part is, in a bit, we'll get to hear from the politicians themselves.
The law here now is not as good as it should be, actually.
This is the part of the story where I want to take a second and thank the brands that make videos like these possible. Funny enough, you'd just seen a bunch of them while visiting the grows. Besides the obvious of the Humboldt Seed Company for inviting me out, but it's companies like AC Infinity who make all the grow gear I use at home. From fans to pots to the LEDs, everything we use is AC Infinity, and for good reason. Not only are their products quality, but they're really reasonably priced too. And not to mention, they make everything you need to grow from seed to after harvest. As we've seen in the Ganja Patients Grow, they've recently expanded to Europe and helping growers get started on their first grow. Make sure to check out acinfinity.com for great grow gear and links in the description below. Next was nutrition. Just like Mario from White Lakes Weed, I used ATHENA egg as well to feed and take care of my plants. Similar to Mario, I needed a nutrient brand I could grow and scale with. With all their grow information and education, I knew ATHENA was the right company. Not only are they used by some of the best growers in the world, but they have everything under one roof. Pest prevention, cloning, nutrition, and even advanced preservation methods like tissue culture. Make sure to check them out at athenaag.com for your plant nutrition needs. Next was genetics. Seedsman carries a lot of the genetics, if not all the genetics we've seen on this tour. One of my favorite things about them is their worldwide shipping. So whether it's a German grow bro or a US homie, Seedsman carries a huge selection of genetics, and they've been in the game for over 2 decades. I left a link in the discount code down in the description below. Last was a company we didn't see in Germany, but I'm sure we will soon. Pulse Grow Monitors. These are the monitors I use in my grow to tell me everything, from when it's time to feed to set off alarms when there's a temp or humidity spike. They make monitors for every metric you want to track and have a really cool dashboard to track and display your metrics from seed to harvest. If you're growing and not yet tracking your data, make sure to check out Pulse Grow. Links down below. Big thanks to each and every one of these companies for supporting videos like this one. Definitely not possible without them. Now, let's get back to the story and head to the countryside.
Dude, we made it. What town are we in?
What town? Siedernick.
Siedernick. So we're in the town of Siedernick, outside of Berlin, and we're about to tour a hemp farm. It's one of the many hemp farms that are back up and running here in Germany, growing for fiber and food production. So we're about to go see a hemp field in the ground, which is really exciting. So I think it looked like it was direct sown seeds under the German sun. We made it out of Berlin and we're back into the countryside, so it feels like home. It's beautiful. Yeah. Respect, I'm Ben.
Julian, hi, nice
Julian,
to meet you.
nice to meet you as well.
How you doing, Julian? Dakota.
So should we go around to the field?
Yeah. How much space do you have planted here? How big is this?
It's about an acre. And then we have, in the beginning of July, we will plant 20 hectares just for the clothing, for the fibers.
Oh, interesting. So this crop was intentionally bred, or this variety was intentionally bred for fiber production.
Exactly.
But you're also using it for seed production as a secondary use. 2 materials out of the same plant.
Yeah, like do a lot of stuff with the seeds, with the oil. We have our own dairy farm, and we make our own cheese now with the oil and with the seeds.
Ooh, this is good.
Yeah.
Germany's been producing hemp for, do you know how long?
Well, for the Second World War started, there was hemp everywhere, especially in Austria. But after the Second World War, as I read in books, the United States wanted us to buy cotton, so they banned and crossed everything out of our books and marked it black, so we weren't allowed to raise hemp anymore. And then with which president was it who had this
Reagan? Nancy Reagan, and the DARE program.
Yeah.
Pot, grass, whatever you want to call it, is probably the most dangerous drug in the United States.
Everybody started at zero again. We used to have a lot of knowledge how to grow hemp, but that was lost through the generations that people didn't use it anymore. But now we're getting back into it again, and people see the future of the plant, and let's see where it goes in the next. And yeah, they will come out here and also test the hemp if there isn't too much THC inside. Even though THC is legalized in Germany, kind of, we still have to be under 2.0%.
Under 2%?
Or
0.0? 0.02%. Wow. That's even more strict than the United States.
Yeah, I mean, I think like people say that you can get a high from this hemp too, like if you smoke 2 or 3 kilos of it, but like who does that, you know? And
you might die of smoke inhalation first.
That's like the stupid part of Germany. We don't want to have more than 0.2% THC. And if we have a plant with good genetics, we can't reproduce the plant. We're not allowed to. It always have to be a seed that you put into the ground. You can't like make clones out of it, and that's
sure. You can't propagate it.
Yeah, same with CBD. That's the thing I really don't understand.
And then, like, what was the new regulations that happened recently that allowed?
Well, the new regulations that happened that really didn't affect us as much. We were hoping, all the farmers were hoping that the farmers would get the benefits so we can grow hemp and we can maybe grow flowers and sell buds or whatever. But that didn't happen as well. It was a big step for Germany, but still it was too little for us farmers to make something real big out of it. We still have many, many laws we need to follow, and it's not easy to grow hemp.
When you're unlucky, the sun and the rain goes the right way, you might be at 0.3. And we need to just increase that maximum residue level to something like 1%. Make sure that people who grow those varieties that were not made for THC or CBD production, but for fiber production or oil production, don't have any problems with authorities once the weather is really good.
Let's hope that in the next couple of years it will ease up a little bit more, and as the plant is around the people and the people are not scared of it as much anymore, it just takes time so people can adjust to it. People in Germany are always afraid of new things, so we need some time, and then I'm sure the people will understand that weed isn't a bad plant, that weed is good for us and that we can actually benefit from it instead of being scared of it.
It was great to see that in the face of so many regulations and restrictions, that family farmers like Julian were still focusing on hemp production, and even launching a few new family businesses in the process.
They also sell the seeds to someone who's producing beef.
Oh, cool!
They make sausages with the hemp seeds, and bread. They have a bakery and they make bread out of the seeds.
Whoa!
Obviously, when it comes to new laws, farmers like Julian don't yet share the same excitement as the home growers.
You see a beautiful German garden, then the thing is, the people really now feel relief.
But hope for a brighter future was in the air. It was time to head back and get some rest before heading to the world's biggest cannabis festival. But first, we had to make a quick pit stop.
So we were driving down this backcountry road, and Leon spotted that sweet emerald color that you see so much in NorCal. Found a wild feral hemp plant.
What? That's what I meant. Like they're way faster
when they're in just the wild ones, because this is like a ruderalis. So it's a female. It looks predominantly female. I don't see any intersex characteristics. But yeah, so we have a female ruderalis plant growing on the side of the road in Germany. This family of plants could have been around for forever. Hemp's been grown in Germany for over 5,000 years. They've documented. This plant could be from that lineage. It could have been something that went feral from a local hemp field. Like, who knows? But it's just really cool to show that in the wild, we're just in a sea of, weeds on the side of a road, and we have a big, happy, healthy hemp plant.
I would say it's pretty common around Berlin to see exactly those plants, and they smell like that, and they smell kind of lemony-like when they flower more.
Lemon lime smell. It doesn't really look like there's many calyxes on it. The floral structure is really loose, even at such a young age, and there's like no trichromes at all either. No, it looks like feral weed. It looks like wild ditchweed from the Midwest that was, that just, you know, these feral populations get, you know, off the farm, and they're so prolific that they just keep going. And well defined, it's very narrow leaf, almost sativa looking structure, but it's growing like an autoflower. Like to have buds in June is, you know, that's definitely autoflower genetics playing a role in there.
Dennis is right. I mean, you can see it at the leaf. It doesn't look like industrial hemp. It also doesn't grow like industrial hemp. It's more bushy. No, and if you smoke it, it tastes like paper.
All right, so this is paper weed, or this is probably some sort of fiber hemp that was probably used by people forever ago to, you know, make some sandals or make some shorts. This right here is a testament of, you know, putting a plant in the ground. I mean, not even putting it in the ground, just letting a wild plant do its thing. It's happy, it's healthy, it's on the side of the road getting blasted by dust in a super sandy soil, but the plants around it are all green and happy, and this plant is stoked.
Obviously, I believed you when you said there was wild weed here, but I was like, it can't be that common. Well, here we are, brother.
Dude, we just made it. So we're a little bit late, but we're here in Berlin, 2024, Mary Jane. People are still waiting to get in. I think the doors are gonna open here in about 2 minutes. Yeah, let's go in, let's go check it out.
Crazy times, can't you feel it? Is there a reason for it all? Maybe take a ride on this pipe train, hold it in, wait for it, here come the fall.
Since the inception in 2016, Mary Jane Berlin has established itself as Germany's oldest and most renowned cannabis fair. Year after year, enthusiasts, connoisseurs, and the curious flock from all around the world to take part in this extraordinary event. 3 days, 420 exhibitors, 35 speakers, and over 42,000 attendees.
I think we're going to have 50, 60, 70,000 people. I have no idea. It was mayhem yesterday and the day before.
A lot of the well-known brands in the industry are represented here.
Yeah. It's a pleasure and honor.
Giving visitors the opportunity to discover and experience the highest quality products firsthand.
What book is this, dude?
This is the higher book. This is the Bible of all.
One of the best parts of Mary Jane Berlin was the atmosphere of community and sharing that seems to greet every visitor.
What do you think of the event so far?
Blown away. I don't know what I expect, but I'm really blown away. All the love, all the peace I get from all the people, the exhibitors, everyone here. It's just, I'm blown away.
Right now I got the Frankel's lemon cheese inside.
Yeah. Home grower in Germany. We got the jelly donuts, Pheno #1.
That's some single source live rosin. It's grown in Germany, and yeah.
This amazing bud here. This is a Chimera 3, right?
Right, Chimera 3 grown by Grow Doctor.
I'm from Germany. I'm South Germany. Stuttgart, yeah. Gelato 45.
Got the Elements permanent marker from Seed Chunky Genetics.
Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna get my nose in here real quick.
And yeah, we like nice fruity chirps.
It's a much big. Oh wow! Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm way happier than I was 2 seconds ago.
We are the Broccoli Bros. Welcome to Germany.
Here, we met like-minded people, got to know experts, and engage in conversations that broadened our perspective on Germany.
Germany is smart enough to be the first country in Europe to do it different. And of course, Germany was always smarter than the rest. So yeah, all hail to Germany.
People will tell you that I look really stoned, but I'm not.
The type of people, like, it's across the board. We have pensioners, we have young people, older people, everything involved. It has been quite a ride since legalization.
In addition to the expeditions and presentations, the show offered a wealth of educational development opportunities, including expert talks, workshops, and panel discussions. This is where we'd have the chance to sit down with the politicians and get their take on legalization.
Seeing how every year Germany has changed slowly has been really heartwarming to me, and just seeing how the people have become almost like more open about their use and their relationship with the plant. So thank you for all the work that you've done to actually get Germany to this point.
You're welcome. I mean, there's a society in Germany, it was like 50-50. 50% said, yay, legalize, and the other 50% said, hey, why? So it was a big process for the whole society in Germany, discussing a lot about it, and the police was against it, doctors were against it, and we were talking and said, no, it's really, really good to do that, give it a chance and stuff like that. And then in the end, finally, we did it. Yeah.
Damit angenommen. The law was passed by Chancellor Olaf Scholz's ruling coalition on Friday.
What is the current legal status of cannabis in Germany now that the laws have changed?
Okay. As Germans are, we do things in complicated and bureaucratic ways. So what we actually did is we legalized smoking weed. We legalized having up to
around 50 grams. And you can grow 3 plants at home per person. So when you're more person in a flat, then you can have more than 3 plants. And it's allowed to have cannabis in public, but not more than 25 grams.
But how do you get weed if you don't grow it yourself? And how do you get plants? And the idea that we have in our laws now is that you form a club, an association, a non-commercial one.
And you can be a member of a cannabis social club, and when you're a member of a cannabis social club, you are allowed to grow together cannabis, and you can get 50 grams per month from this club.
And that's the idea how we legalized it, to make sure that people who smoke weed and don't do any harm to anyone but themselves can legally smoke weed, and at the same time not have any incentive to make people grow and smoke weed for commercial reasons, and to protect the customers and especially like children from the possible harm by having a legal way, but a way that is regulated.
Because in states where you have a legalization of cannabis, you can see that the consuming people is decreasing when you're younger, and that was a big point for our Minister of Health in Germany, that we want to protect young people. Yep. You have more prevention. You're talking about consuming cannabis, so you know that's maybe not good for you when you're young, and because in Germany we have a lot of people consuming cannabis, like around 5 million people minimum, and they're consuming it, and it doesn't matter if it's illegal or legal. So we said, okay, we have to change something, because the cannabis they consume is from the illicit market. So it was for the health of the people, and we see that that when you forbid something, it doesn't matter for them, and then
Yeah, it's just the first step actually. So you can be also persecuted if you have too much of the cannabis. And I think if you compare it to alcohol or tobacco, it's crazy. They see, okay, you have 10 bottles of wine in your cellar. It's like you have to go to prison. That's not the way of thinking. Is still I think the wrong way. Tobacco, alcohol on the one side, but in Germany, Oktoberfest, alcohol is like a cultural thing, and you should deal the same way you deal with tobacco, you should deal with cannabis, and that's the way in.
Germany is the 3rd European country to legalize, and the 9th in the world. It seemed that although excited and proud of these new laws, these politicians seen this as a first step, a trial period for lack of better words, and work still needed to be done. As far as Mary Jane Berlin, this seemed to be more than just an event. It was a movement committed to education, acceptance, and freedom.
Thank you so much for having me, brother.
Whoa, man.
What an amazing trip. What an amazing beginning. And it's now the last day and coming to an end. I just want to say thank you so much, dude.
In Germany we say, alles Gute hat ein Ende, nur die Wurst hat zwei. Jawohl, mein Schatz, das ist soweit. Translated, it means every good thing have an end, just the sausage has two. Yes, my dear, this is reality. I hope you had a great time. You saw the German cannabis culture, you saw the growers, how much passion they put into the flowers, like every grower all over the world. And this is the nice thing, a cannabis enthusiast, you are traveling through the world, you're never alone. When you smell a joint and you get in a talk, you never are alone. Yeah, man.
What's up, bro?
Oh, Dankeschön. Yeah. So yeah, we just arrived at Humboldt University here in Berlin, and we're going to be checking out their cannabis research program. Really excited to see what they got going on behind these walls.
Yeah, so welcome to Humboldt University. This is the main entrance of our campus in Dahlem. So we're going to see some tissue culture work. We're going to see our little stock of mother plants. Yeah, some flowering pre-try. Nothing too big, but we're going to see some plants and hopefully going to interview the dean.
Well, actually with cannabis we started around 5 years ago. So way before we were talking about the legalization in Germany, and because the crop offers so much potential in agriculture. And we were interested in medical purposes in the beginning. And we have broadened the area of interest. Many more people are coming together in what we call the Cannabis Research Lab. And we are now interested in fibers, we are interested in secondary metabolites, we are interested to understand how the plant performs under different environmental conditions. We are interested in circular agriculture, how cannabis can be used because of its protein content. So when we combine farming, here we are combining in our system plant production, insect production and fish production, and how the plant performs here in these combined farming systems. This is the project called Cube Circle. And we produce over 3 trophic levels. So we have primary producent, so plants on top. In the bottom we have insect production. So the insects feed on the leftovers from the plants. Insects are, the main aim is of course also to produce insects for human nutrition as protein source. And the fish are feeding on the insect residues. Wow. And the fish water, the residue, the nutrient-rich fish water goes back to fertilize the plants.
Wow,
so this is
a closed.
This is how the circle is set. The whole building is kind of a project which took us around 5 years of research to establish and to build this. This is for the condensate, so everything which comes from the plant, clean back. You know, this is fish drain, so fish water, nutrient-rich fish water. This water will be then analyzed to see what nutrients have been taken out. We have not used shipping containers because it's an experimental part, but we have the format of different shipping containers so that we can later on use like a Lego system, increase the size. Here we have the aquaculture, and here we are having all of the measurements. We are having all of the sensor readouts. Decisions not only based on quality of a product, on yield parameters, but also on sustainability parameters. So you have to bring all of these 3 together. You can see our tomato production. This is all grown hydroponically.
Okay.
And what you see is upstairs, this is the cooling units. You know, this is what makes it so unique. I mean, so cool. We are funneling here, we have 2 sources of CO2, actually, or 3 sources, but 2 main sources. The one is technical CO2.
They deliver a canister ready to go. Yep.
And the second one is, of course, we are talking about producing fish and insect, and they release CO2. So this CO2 goes also up in here. So we really try to have a very holistic approach.
Yeah.
Interesting for me, hemp has been the best plant with least trade-off in the system when it comes to the circularity. You know, we can produce proteins with hemp for human nutrition, leftovers which are good for the insects, you know, and so on. So it might be that when you look at, at this as one production system, not in 3 different which are connected at one, that the total output would be best if you have hemp as a primary producer.
Oh wow.
I really believe that hemp offers us so much of potential, which we really have to rediscover. I mean, there have been more research in the past on hemp, and now we lost lots of knowledge, and we are rediscovering this. Yeah, I hope that we get rid of the stigmatization, that we see the potential, and that we have a more fair handling of this product, in the society. I don't want that anyone, hears cannabis and thinks, oh well, that's a terrible drug only, like the time when I grew up. But at the same time, I'm not sure if we want that, everybody smokes everywhere weed, of course. So it is, it is like alcohol. We need some rules. We need to have some understanding of the consequences, and but this should be all research-based and scientific-based, and not, based on rumors or stigmatization from the past.
I've said it before, but this is the Hogwarts of cannabis, in my opinion. So you come in here and there's plants from all over the world, collections that probably date back to the founding of the university, and you have a bunch of people running around working on different experiments and studying pests and pathogens, to breeding, to studying hemp or studying different succulents and things like that. It's just really cool to see like students actually with passion working on these projects. So it's a cool collection of human beings we have here.
So my name is Leon König. I'm from Humboldt University of Berlin. I work especially on the cannabis project. Well, I think most passionate about is probably genetics and the outdoor production or the outdoor growing itself in general. Not even only for cannabis plants in general. I also have a garden with a little aquaponic system. I think I'm, in general, very interested in biology and everything which is alive.
So I'm Daniel Hübner. I'm working here at the Humboldt University as like a PhD student. I started 3 years ago. And I'm working mainly on the technical parts. Proven, what I always say is from browledge to knowledge. Yeah, this is what drives me a little bit. You can find so many different interesting things in the internet, but it's all just people growing at home because it was illegal many years, and there's not so much cannabis science happening. And this is basically what is my job, like looking into theories and look into that theories in a scientific standard process.
Yeah. We're trying to find out, because then what we can do with the cytokinin, which is much better than the normal MSs, here we were trialing out just putting leaves, just like parts of leaves, parts of stems, just like cut up plant material.
And some did.
Yeah, and all of them formed the callus. Okay. And this is like living plant material. It's just undefined. And the next step would be like, what can we do with this undefined blob of cannabis material? How can we make it grow roots? How can we make it shoot? We're experimenting with the hormones right now. Like, these are making the callus. This is the cytokinins, and this is like your standard. See, most of the time, I don't know how this happens yet. Most of the time, 1 or 2 plants take over the whole glass. So it must be some kind of communication between the plants, because even if you really take care that they're all the same size, and it's always 1 or 2 that take the lead and just power everything out.
So as far as I understand, there was 2 brothers, Wilhelm and Alexander. Alexander is who Humboldt County, California is named after, and a lot of the Humboldt Current and a lot of the street signs and parks and things that you'll see in the United States and throughout the world. And he was a naturalist that kind of traveled all over the globe during his lifetime, just studying nature and documenting different species and bringing a lot of stuff back into Germany. And then his brother, Wilhelm, was more of a philosopher, just a great thinker. I think he was in politics a little bit as well. And he actually founded the university, which used to be the University of Berlin and is now Humboldt University of Berlin.
He was a person who believed in the combination of research and teaching. So the Humboldt principle is, I think, the basis for most modern universities in the world. The unity of research and teaching. So every professor should teach and give his knowledge firsthand to the next generation coming. And he was, of course, inspired by all of the research which his brother took from all over the world. I mean, he was traveling in Latin America and so on. And they were able to persuade the Prussian king, to bring this into the university. And together with the founder of the name of our institute, Albrecht Daniel Theer, who was the guy who came up first with sustainability as an issue. So this has been the first place here where research has been taught worldwide on a university level, based on the standards we have still today.
As we've journeyed through Germany, from the humble homegrowers cultivating in small spaces to the expansive hemp farms in the countryside.
Fuck it, this is the next level. This is the future. Oh, baby! We are fucking legal.
We've witnessed a country in flux, a nation navigating its way through the complexities of cannabis legalization. We've met the passionate growers who embody the spirit of cultivation. the culture and patience at Mary Jane Berlin who fight for recognition and rights,
Join the party.
the politicians grappling with the policy and progress,
Die Revolution liegt der Sozialdemokratie im Blut. Packen wir es an. Vielen Dank.
the academics at Humboldt University pushing the boundaries of knowledge and understanding. Each perspective brings its own hopes and challenges, highlighting the unique landscape of cannabis in Germany today.
This is the Bong and Dab Bar, and there is quite the selection. 1, 2, 3, 16 bongs.
But one thing is clear, the winds of change are blowing, and they're not just limited to Germany. The question now isn't if cannabis will be legalized, but when. And who will be next to follow in these footsteps?
Once there was a famous African professor, and he said, once this cannabis plant is liberated in Africa, Africa will be liberated. But you can say that for the whole world, no?
Yep.
So, what are your thoughts? Will Germany set a stage for a new era in Europe, or will another country take the lead? Share your views in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the evolving world of cannabis, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. Stay tuned to Homegrow TV, where we keep the light on cannabis legalization, one story at a time.